What's going on, everyone? Jared the Star here. Now, the beef of 50 Cent and Ja Rule is something that will simply just never get old because 50, 25 years later after beefing, still feels no remorse and shits on him any chances he gets. Now, recently, you guys are aware, Irv Gotti, who was pretty much the producer of Murder Inc., the label that Ja Rule was signed to, and they were like this, they were locked in, passed away due to his diabetes, and 50 Cent mocked him. He posted a picture of him with the hookah saying, smoking on your man, smoking on that Gotti pack. And Ja Rule, obviously because that was his day one man, felt the way about it. So fast forward, Ja Rule came on the Breakfast Club and he was asked with Charlamagne how he's been dealing with the passing of Irv Gotti, and then he spoke on it. But 50 Cent, being the troll that he is, obviously would screenshot a clip from the interview and put it on his Instagram saying this. Now, while in this interview, Ja Rule will talk about how he's been ready to go nuclear on 50 Cent and how he's pretty much spared 50 Cent his entire career. Now, Ja Rule is what you call one of the most delusional people that I've ever seen in music, where he still has to convince himself that he won the beef or that he's still standing and somehow is higher than 50, even though the stats show that is not the case. Like, he's like that one delusional kid who think he won the fight because he threw the first punch, but he got his ass whooped. And here, Ja Rule, he spoke about how he was ready to go nuclear for the past 22 years, but he's been playing it cool. So 50 Cent posted a picture of Ja Rule saying, "The Breakfast Club should be ashamed of themselves, asking questions that perpetuate violence. This fool has been ready to go for what he calls nuclear for 22 years. LOL, yo man in my runs." For those of you not aware, 50 Cent has a long hatred for Irv Gotti, Murder Inc., and the whole Ja Rule crew. And it should really have not surprised anyone, because these are the same people that actually put a hit on his life and tried to kill him in the year 2000. So we all know 50 Cent was a rapper from Southside Queens. He came up hard, did grow up with his parents. His mom died when he was young. Never really met his father, and he's pretty much just been as real as his raps tell his story. Like, that's just been him. And he, was pretty mad, I guess, that Ja Rule was getting embraced by a lot of people in Queens because Ja Rule was rapping with stuff that he didn't live. He was mad that Ja Rule was a Jehovah's Witness kid, wasn't a street guy, maybe lived in the ends, but wasn't really hard about that life. And 50 said that, hey, you guys are embracing the fraud because I really lived that life. I started selling drugs at 12 after my mom died at 8, right? So he kind of felt the way. So led to all these, diss tracks being exchanged, such as "I Won't Forgive You," "Murder," the song "Murder," "Your Life's on the Line," I believe it's called. And they actually added just some real street beef since then. Then when Candace Supreme Gift put hit on 50 Cent, that obviously changed everything, because the guy who was a drug dealer and a drug kingpin, who was pretty much, extorting Murder Inc., which is Ja Rule and Irv Gotti, Ja Rule was down with the same people. It was friendly extortion, of course. Like, hey, clean my drug money in your record label. And that's how it usually goes, of course. And that's why they had smoke forever. So when Ja Rule, or should I say when Irv Gotti died, that's why 50 Cent had no remorse. Like, y'all tried to kill me. Y'all tried to kill me and y'all tried to blackball me. And Irv Gotti, when he was alive, was very vocal in a lot of his interviews about how, yeah, I wish I didn't blackball him. I pushed him into Edmund Dre's lap. I gave him the best situation. Now, these people, one thing I'll give to Irv Gotti, man, like, he's passed. I have nothing against him because I don't personally know him. But he was open about his feelings towards 50 Cent. He said, yo, I hate that guy. I tried to block him. I tried to do everything. I would let him sign with Atlantic if it would have meant he wouldn't have been as successful. So 50 Cent has every right to hate these guys. They tried to kill him. They tried to blackball his career. And when you do something like that to someone, it's simply up for life.
The other thing that I would probably tell young DJ Irv is, let Atlantic Records sign 50 Cent. Because I blocked the nigga till he fell into M and Dre's lap.
Damn. Are you serious?
So Ja Rule after getting clowned and it would actually spawn a couple days later. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Ja had this in him because he was talking to shit. 50 Cent, go suck my dick. You bitch ass nigga. I already ate your lunch. Shut up. Now, I don't know what he's talking about when he said that he ate his lunch, because we heard about what happened in the Hit Factory years ago with the stabbing, and then I guess 50 Cent shooting you or not shooting you, punching you in the face. There's so many stories when it comes to these two. It's like, these guys are like, I don't even know how to say it. They're like an old divorced couple. It's like they can never be denounced. They're separate from each other. We'll always hear 50 Cent and Ja Rule. But anyways, like I said, Ja Rule, he had a lot to say, and he didn't go lightly. At 50 Cent, nigga, you're a used car salesman. Everything you do is trash. Music, one good album. After that, trash liquor, trash TV shows. Yeah, I said it, trash. How many times you gonna make the same show that Coke stepped on? Parenting, trash character, trash nigga, you the garbage man. Now, the reason why I'm laughing at this Ja Rule comments with 50 Cent is because a man that's really hurt when he talks about everything you do. The man said I hate the way you walk, the way you talk, I hate the way you dress. Like, man said his show is trash. Like, when he said Power is trash, I said, alright, bro. You're doing too much beacon, man. There's nothing that you're saying right now is believable. and you're just talking at this point. You know, it seems that you've been talked out of your character, and you're not even speaking logically right now. You're just speaking because your feelings are hurt. Now, like I said, 50 Cent is the master troll. You know, we all know what happened when Ja Rule had that one show where 50 Cent bought out the first 3 rows. And we all know 50 Cent has pretty much just been trolling Ja Rule's entire career. Any performance he does that doesn't have the most aesthetically pleasing look, anything that he does that is pretty much embarrassing, 50 Cent will take any moment to embarrass Ja Rule, and that's why when Irv Gotti died, he said that he was smoking on his pack. So Charlamagne the God would actually bring up a very interesting point, how 50 Cent and Ja Rule are pretty much not outgrown each other, and talking about their name was pretty much always intertwined with each other. Now Ja Rule go on talking about how he always brings me up, I don't pay him any attention, and speak on how he was actually ready to go nuclear, which I don't know what that means because, bro, y'all been beefing for the past 25 years, bro. You're almost 50. If there was a time to go nuclear, it probably was in 2000s or in the 2000s, and maybe that nuclear moment was the hit on 50 Cent, but it failed.
It's so interesting to me that you all 50 have not outgrown each other, and what I mean by that is, if you're talking to 50, Ja gonna come up. If you're talking to Ja, 50 gonna come up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't bring him up per se at all.
No, we do.
Yeah,
the media does.
Yeah.
But you know, because I think that's because he's, you know, a troll and he keeps it going. You know,
You be throwing jabs and throwing them back, but you be.
You know, I'll go to the circus once in a while. You know what I mean? But I really like to stay clear of that shit.
Yeah, because when
Like,
the residency stuff happened, I was like, oh Lord.
I like to have fun sometimes and poke jabs at them too, but that's all it really is. It's like and to me it's like it's silly. You know, we're both successful black men. I think the focus should be on, you know, continuing to make sure that we pay it forward, push it forward, make sure the culture keeps going forward. I think that's more, you know. And so when I see the things that he does, and you know, he did the herb smoking, you know, I'm like.
How did you feel about that when you saw it?
Of course, nobody likes all this goofy shit, but it's goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm not, you know, Preem said it best. You know, I spoke to Preem the other day. Preem has always got the right words and shit.
So you talk about how he's spoken to Supreme, which is the person serving life in jail for the hit on 50, and how he's telling him how to move and say, yo, don't really take him too serious, disregard him. But something was just very, very weird about what Ja Rule was saying in this video.
I spoke to Preem anyway, and Preem said, yo, he said, you know, Rule, he said, here's what you got to understand about who we are and what we are. He said, we are masters of self-defense. And I said, I love that. I said, because I don't want to start trouble, make trouble with people. You know, but if we got to get into it, make it, I'll fucking end it. Because I was hot. You know what I'm saying? I was hot. I was ready to go nuclear.
Okay. So Ja Rule saying if we gotta get into it, I'll effing end it is just cap. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. I'm just saying that for the sake of the video because you're telling me 50 Cent has been beefing you for the past 2 decades, slapped you, got punched in the face. I will say, yeah, he never got shot like how 50 did because 50 was into it with some real gangsters. But you're telling me you had all this shit done to you saying that if you want to start something, I'll finish it. Bro, the time to finish this was in 2003, bro. After 50 Cent got hot, he pretty much shitted on Ja Rule's entire career, bro. And I'm not going to lie to you, I hear a lot of people who are obviously hip-hop fans or listen to music in the early 2000s, and they will tell you that, yo, Ja Rule was like Drake. I'm like, don't ever compare Ja Rule to Drake ever in your life. But apparently, to a lot of people, like his success and hit #1 records, that's who he was. But 50 Cent, when he got on the scene, man, he just washed them off like a worm in the rain. Like, kick rocks. Like, he just, there's nothing you could do. He was just out of there. So Ja Rule responded to more people who were just pretty much trolling him over the entire situation, saying that 50 Cent ended Murder, Inc. To which he responded, you're right. He told the feds Murder, Inc. had him shot, and they put us under the federal indictment. Yo, this is just so funny for so many reasons because Ja Rule is so delusional that he's trying to convince himself that he somehow won the battle and 50 Cent was the reason why the feds investigated Murder, Inc. Now I'm gonna give you guys a quick crash course in a minute explanation of why the feds were investigating Murder, Inc. Murder, Inc. is a record label in the early 2000s. They had Ashanti, Ja Rule. They did songs with DMX. They were a very hot record label, right, to say the least. Now the reason why they were being investigated by the feds was because money laundering. Now, like I said before, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the person who ran the Supreme team out of the 5 boroughs of New York City, one of the biggest drug organizations ever, where they're knocking people off, selling drugs. Like they were official. He essentially went to jail for like 12 years and came home, and he was trying to obviously clean his money and get out that life. And he became cool with Irv Gotti and Ja Rule, who were the rapper and producer. And, like any good person who wants to, clean their money, we've seen the laundromats, how people buy laundromats and clean their money, or buy restaurants. They went the music route. So Irv Gotti and obviously and Ja Rule were essentially pawns in a situation where Kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff were using them to clean the money so that he could actually get clean money, clean his dirty money into clean money from using their business and all the records that they were selling. So essentially, these guys operate in downtown Manhattan, I believe like this big Sony building where a lot of music labels have their own box office or flagship stores or headquarters. And when the feds got a hold of the situation that they have basically a criminal who was in jail for 12 years cleaning their money through the business, they put like a cease and desist on Universal, whoever they're signed to, which I believe was through Universal because Murder Inc. was under Universal. And they all got investigated. So they had to shut down their office in downtown Manhattan or wherever it was in New York, which I'm pretty sure was Manhattan. And they had to invest the entire situation, which they couldn't release music. And obviously, Irv Gotti and his brother, Chris Gotti, had to both go to trial because they were the owners of the record label. And they were obviously found guilty. The reason that they even went to trial in the first place is because they wanted to isolate and get Supreme McGriff. And 50 Cent spoke about this how many times in the Breakfast Club interview, saying that, listen, you weren't involved in anything. The reason why they took you to trial was they could isolate him, as Kenneth Supreme McGriff went to trial with a legal aid.
All of the snitch, you a snitch, this is now, that's the worst thing you can be in the environment that I come up in, right? You understand what I'm saying? He's like, his idea is, leave them alone, they our food. Because he's eating off them, like when the feds are saying, he's saying, we beat the feds. You never beat nothing. You wasn't involved in nothing. They really washed you up to make sure that they got him so you couldn't help him.
Financially.
Yeah, they only put you in the case to eat you. Mm-hmm. He'll tell you he was $2 million in the hole in the thing.
I think I heard that. He said that on Drink Champ.
Yeah. So while you $2 million in the hole is to make sure you can't help him. He went to trial with a legal aid.
Now, we know legal aids, you're cooked. You go to trial with legal aid, then you're facing murder charges or extortion charges, and it wasn't even that serious. His was just simply money laundering. But if you go to jail with a legal aid, it's not looking good, bro. And he's serving 2 life sentences right now, one for the murder of someone else and a bunch of murder for hires, honestly. And yeah, he was about his business, but that's where he's at right now.